Hello. So here are 5 great tips, simple tips, to become a world-class English writer. Right? Who am I or what my name is irrelevant. It is not important. But what is important that you are going to become a writer, and that is really important. Fine. Okay. So here, without taking any unnecessary extra additional time, I am simply delving into the subject. Number 1, every story, every novel, every blog, but let us say you are writing a fiction, so I'm talking about a fiction. How to write a world-class, wonderful, nail-biting, riveting kind of a novel or a book. Fine. First thing, number 1 is the plot, or I'll say a situation. I'll have to explain it. What is a plot and a situation? There are 2 ways all best books are written. All best books or all the best fictions are written. First is the plot. The plot is that the story or a conspiracy story or some tragic story, some detective stuff, some police investigation, comedy, whatever it is, friendship, it always starts with a plot. It means you already have the idea how the story is going to start, what it is all about, and how it's going to end. Who are the characters, what happens to them, and how it ends with a punch, with your message, right? So that is a plot. So first way for all the writers is to have a plot already in your mind. Yes, you'll have to have it first. Keep your eyes on the entire product, then start writing. That is number 1 way. Or there is another way, and I called it a situation-based novel. In other words, what happens? You don't have any plot, but you have a situation. Let us take an example. The city in which you live is suddenly, some warning is given that the bomb is going to fall on your city, right? Let us say. So this is a situation, a bomb, someone, enemy, whoever is going to drop a bomb on the city. Now what happens? All of a sudden, inside one building, some 4 or 5 men are trapped, and somebody has locked the door from outside. All they have is 1 hour or 24 hours or whatever, but the limited time is there. The stipulated time is very limited, and they have to get out of it. Now there are 4 or 5 characters. So you started with the situation. You describe the situation, and slowly out of your imagination, the story will shape. In that case, you don't need a plot, right? So remember, simple and succinct. Have a plot in your mind. Yes, think about it. Have a plot in your mind, or have a situation. If you have either of them, fine. You can start your book. Fine. Second thing, and that is a classic mistakes, rather for the beginners. What? Do not write long, unending sentences. Keep them short, very short and brief. Right? If you can, as long as you can avoid, do not use the which, whom, whoever, though. These kind of things should be avoided. Keep the simple sentences short and succinct, so that the reader can read and understand them in one breath, right? I've seen the old-fashioned novels. If you really want, to take a bad example of it, and I'm very sorry to say bad, because the writer I'm about to mention is one of the greatest of all, the master of macabre. His name is Edgar Allan Poe. But the Poe kind of novels, they were 150 years back, they were very long sentences. So if the modern writers goes and read it, my goodness, by the time he has approached the middle of the sentence, whatever was written previously was gone, right? Something like that. Yes, some of the Poe fans are going to be very offended, but trust me, I'm a Poe fan myself. He's a master, I repeat, he's a master of macabre, great. But nowadays, today, attention span, or let us say the language level of people, people are, they don't want to, simply read unending sentences. Okay, the third thing is, and that is important. What happens? The writer is so much in love of his with his own language. You know what? So he simply go on bombarding the readers with what? With adjectives, with adverbs, with fancy words. Don't do it unless they are necessary. I'll simply give an example. Adverbs are a no. Don't use unnecessary adverbs. For an example, I'll tell you, a dialogue goes. Let us say the dialogue goes. She shouted angrily, "Get out of here." Right? Fine. Now look at the dialogue. Is there any real need for that angrily adverb? No. Get the hell out of here is enough. She said, "Get out of here." The reader automatically understands the character is angry or happy or something. So you don't have to add those happily, smilingly, poignantly, angrily, totally. No, avoid them in the dialogues. Fourth thing is what? Do your homework, please. Whatever the subject you're writing, please do your homework. Please do your homework. Especially, the people writing the detective stuff. When you're writing about poisons, we're writing about bullets. When you're writing about guns, where you're writing about monuments, structures, building, location, places. It's not possible every time that you can go and visit them physically. It's not possible. But then why internet is there, man? Right? So yes, watch the images of the location, of course. Don't merely mention that the hero pulled out a gun. Your protagonist, whoever he is or she is, she pulled out a gun. Mention the name of the gun, man. Is it a Beretta? Is it a Colt? Luger? Whatever. Do some research. Do some research. And if you're writing something historically important, then yes, research is a must. Last thing I'm going to tell you now. Now remember, when you write over a length of time, if whatever you're writing, that stuff is lengthy, let us say a full-length novel or a novelette or anything that involves more than one chapters, right? End every chapter on a cliffhanger. I repeat, cliffhanger. Now what is a cliffhanger? Cliffhanger is something, even you have ended the chapter, but it is your job, to keep the reader's interest sustained. So end it on something that gives a trailer of what is going to happen next, right? For an example, what shall I say? The hero pulled out a gun, a Beretta, as I said, right? He loaded it, full stop. The game had just begun, and you can simply end the chapter. Don't end it that he has pulled out the gun and loaded the bullets. No. Add something. The game had just begun. The story had just started. It was just happening. Something like that. End every chapter on cliffhanger. Cliffhanger, go and find out what is cliffhanger. So that, yes, the reader should always stay on a cliffhanger. Right? Fine. Okay. But most of all, and this is the biggest thing, right? Remember, what is the definition of a writer? A writer is the one who writes. So, whatever the rules are, whatever the rules you know or don't know them, whatever kind of your language is there, don't worry about it. Start writing. Yes? Remember, writer is the one who writes. So yes, all the best for your new project. Thank you.